We're back here on CBS Sports Network, where we just went through the teams and the AFC's chances at making the playoffs. So naturally, we've got to hit on the NFC after Sunday night's win over Detroit and that Week 3, if you remember, escape against the Rams. The number 1 seed belongs currently to the Philadelphia Eagles. Elsewhere, you see the Cowboys there, the right side of your screen. They're in action tonight against the Raiders. The San Francisco 49ers, though, bottom left-hand part of your screen, entering a portion of their schedule where they can really stack some wins, gain some separation, making their path seem pretty simple. We'll ask the expert, though, as we welcome you back inside our CBS Sports Studios. Jordan Giorgio, Rand Carthon with you. I want to get to those Niners in just a minute, but I want to start with the Packers, because with the Detroit Lions loss last night, the Packers actually move up to 6th place in the conference and stay in playoff position. How difficult, if at all, though, right now is their path? I have it as simple. And I have their chances at making the playoffs at 73%. But it's one of those situations, again, where we talked about where they're in control of their own destiny. I think they beat Detroit in Week 1, and we see there the big matchup on Thanksgiving against the Lions is going to be huge. And then you have 2 division matchups against the Vikings still left, 2 division matchups against the Bears. Oh, and you have the surging Ravens in your schedule, and you have the Broncos. It looks harder than what it really is, but these are winnable games for the Green Bay Packers in the way they're set. I'm just wondering at this point, and we've talked about it here a little bit, on is that tie going to affect them at some point? In having that tie at the end of the season, rather than having that hardcore win. Will it affect them at some point? Not so sure, but I think right now they're well positioned to maintain that 6th spot and make the playoffs. That's a great point to bring up. Now, of course, the Packers can thank the Lions, so can the 49ers, because after that loss and San Fran's win over the Cardinals, the Niners back in this playoff race, and their path, when you look at their remaining schedule, seems pretty easy.
Yeah, and I have them as another team that's simple, and we look at this remaining schedule. Now, these next 3 games are very winnable. You see here against the Panthers, and they've kind of been up and down, but they're doing really well at this point. We know where the Browns are, we know where the Titans are, and then things really pick up for them against a really good Colts team, a surging Chicago team. And then it feels like in all my time in San Fran with the Niners, the last game of the season against the Seahawks, there were always playoff implications there. There were always division title implications there. So you knew that no matter what the team's records were, this game was going to be pivotal in terms of how you close out your season. I have them down as simple. They will be getting healthier, getting their guys back on offense.
Right.
Defense, it's going to be a situation now where the offense is going to have to carry this team. They're just down too many stars, too many guys on defense right now. But if anyone can get it done, it's the 49ers, it's Kyle Shanahan, who I might say he needs to be in the conversation for Coach of the Year. You talk about a guy that's done a lot with the little and constantly just having revolving doors week after week, but they're getting guys in position. The guys are playing football. Guys that you've never heard of are stepping up and making plays. And I think Kyle Shanahan should firmly be in position for Coach of the Year. And as crazy as it is, Jordan, he's never won Coach of the Year.
It is crazy to think about, and I do think we should be having that conversation sooner rather than later. I'm sure we will here on CBS Sports Network. Let's get to, though, how impactful that loss was to the Lions. Sunday Night Football against the Eagles in terms of their playoff hopes. Where do they stand currently?
Now, this is going to sound crazy, and I know I can't give everybody simple, but this will be my final simple for
3
today.
in a row.
But this is another team that controls its own destiny with their remaining schedule and who they have to play. And this is all you can ever ask for as a team, is that it's in your hands. And it's in your hands. And all these, for the Detroit Lions, these are winnable games. That does not mean that it's going to be easy.
Right.
But they are winnable games for them. They have the Giants coming up, as you see. The Packers, they have a chance to get their get back with the Packers, and then the Cowboys. Tough Rams team. We'll see where the Steelers are, the Vikings, and then to close it out against Chicago. These are all winnable games for this Detroit team. And again, it puts you in position, if you're the Detroit Lions, to control your own destiny, which is all you can ask for.
You see the Vikings there on the right-hand side of your screen, sitting at 4-6 in the hunt ever so slightly. Let's check in with Minnesota, where it seems like after Week 11, everything just went against them.
Yeah, and for me, I have Minnesota currently as having a difficult chance to get in. Looking at the numbers, it says it's only a 5% chance. The big thing for them is where are we going to be, and I'm saying we as if I'm a Viking, where are we going to be with J.J. McCarthy on a week-to-week basis? He kind of had his struggles coming into the game, throughout the game in the third quarter, but that final drive where he led them down and helped them get points to go ahead at that point in the game, is that who we can get J.J. McCarthy to be moving forward? We will see, because we also have to keep in mind that this is his first year starting, and it's just been up and down for him. And I think because of that, the Minnesota Vikings are going to remain on the outside looking in.
All right, let's get to a more maybe difficult path here. We begin with the Carolina Panthers. Sit just a half game back of the Buccaneers after Week 11. Do they have a real shot here?
No, I think it's difficult. Okay. It's going to be difficult, and the numbers say that they have a 21% chance of making it. I just look at the Carolina Panthers as this. I know that we have their remaining schedule on board here, and they still have to play the Bucs twice. Tough. That's going to be tough. The Niners is going to be tough for them this week, as are the Seahawks and the Rams. And there's a winnable game there against the Saints, but they've lost to the Saints already this year. Here's where I'm taking this Carolina Panthers team to be this year. This is just a feel-good story. This is just a feel-good story because this is the team that came into the season that we expected to be at the bottom of their division. And if you look at it right now, they're a game back or half a game back from the lead in the division. However, this is a young football team that is learning how to win football games. They're getting the people that they've drafted, that they've developed, are starting to step up and fill those roles that they hoped these people would be when they took them or signed them. And I just love the way Dan Morgan has built this football team. I love the way Dave Canales has his team playing. Everyone was ready to give up on Bryce Young, but he's finding ways. He's overcoming adversity at every clip. He was in and out of the game yesterday due to injuries, getting hit, but he continues to persevere, come back and battle. And then you look at signing a Rico Dowdle, a guy who had something to prove, to tell everyone in Dallas, hey, this just isn't a one-off. I'm a real guy. I'm here. And he's become the identity of what the Carolina Panthers want their organization and their team to be. So to me, yes, we want to talk about their playoff chances. To me, this is one of the feel-good stories of the league this year. Is
that an eloquent way of saying that right now it's out of reach, but the future is bright in Carolina?
I think the future is bright.
Yeah.
I really do. They really hit on Teteroa McMillan. Yeah. I think he's going to be a real guy in this league and present some problems, not only in the NFC South, but the NFC as a whole. I think they're a year away. To me, that's easy to say because they're going to continue to add players through the draft. They're going to make Charlotte, North Carolina, just the Carolina Panthers as a whole, they're going to make them a destination that people are going to want to come to with the way this team is playing.
It's exciting to hear if you're a Carolina Panthers fan. Lastly, we got to hit on the Cowboys. They're in action tonight, Monday Night Football against the Raiders. How much ground do they have left to cover, and just how difficult will it be for them?
Yeah, I have them as difficult. They have a lot of ground. They have a lot of ground to cover here. I think if they lose, it basically makes it unfortunate for them that they don't have a chance to get in. They win tonight, it increases it ever so slightly. But you see what's coming on this schedule. It's the Eagles, it's the Chiefs, it's the Lions, the Vikings, the Chargers. And so what I want to say there, this offense of the Dallas Cowboys can score with anyone. And I truly believe that because they have so many weapons. You have George Pickens, you have CeeDee Lamb, you have Javonte Williams, you have Jake Ferguson. And quiet has kept Jake Ferguson's leading the team in catches and touchdowns at this point because of his connection that he has with Dak Prescott. However, this defense, I'll say pre-trade, has been one of the worst defenses in the league. Now, I do expect this defense to be significantly better post-trade. So I'll be interested for us to kind of keep the stat of where they ranked pre-trade and then where they finished post-trade in terms of the moves they're making, adding Quentin Williams, adding Logan Wilson, getting a DeMarion Overshown back, which is going to help with the speed of the defense, the overall athleticism, because adding a guy like Quentin Williams next to Kenny Clark in the middle is going to give them that disruptor that is now going to get the quarterback off the spot and help out those edge rushers.
Got to keep stacking those wins, and it continues tonight, Monday Night Football, to keep those slim playoff hopes alive for the Dallas Cowboys. Here is a look at the odds to win the NFC. Of course, the Eagles, who currently hold that #1 seed. I think a lot of chaos would have to happen for them not to win the division yet again. But they are at the top there with the best odds at plus 230. The Rams right behind them. Don't forget, they did suffer a loss week 3 to those Eagles, but they're the second best odds according to odds makers at plus 310.